There you are. I was looking for you guys absolutely everywhere. Yes, but now I have finally arrived to tell you some news that, as you can read by the title, Real Racing 3 has done it again. They have put a car in the game that doesn't even belong in that game. Where in the world is Real Racing 3 coming to these days? First, the Hennessy Venom GT, and now the 4GT Le Mans. And strangely enough, both cars have the word GT in them, even though one of them is a super fast supercar and the other is a race car that won in Le Mans, in the 24 Hours of Le Mans 2016, which was this year, in real life, not in some kind of stupid racing game or anything. It was the real world. Indeed it was. And congratulations to Ford for winning in their class at the 2016 24 Hours of Le Mans. What a great win it was for them after 50 years, from 50 years ago, in 1966, when the thing won the thing, and came top 5. I think it was top 5. But, so let's go back in a bit of time right now. Do you remember when I was doing the front runner event in Real Racing 3, and I was going to win the Hennessy Venom GT until I came across a goal where I discovered that the Hennessy Venom GT had the worst handling on Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I was just trying to keep the car in order, and it just kept sliding, crashing into the outside wall. The car was just not great for Indianapolis, and it was possibly the worst performing probably has the worst performance at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Although it might have a bit of an interesting competition if you count in the McLaren F1 and whatever terrible handling cars in Real Racing 3 that you can think of. It just absolutely stinks, doesn't it? So you're probably wondering, well, how can the 4GT Le Mans be that can terribly let me down and thingy? Well, let me tell you the story. So you know that goal on stage number 5 where in Le Mans Legends where you have to do a time trial and you have to beat the time of 3 minutes and 15 seconds, which is such a hard objective. I almost lost it when I was going for the win on the Ferrari, and I lost by 3 seconds on the 4GT Le Mans. Like, why? Why? So I don't put the blame on the car. I put the blame on the game for making it too hard. Oh, by the way, did you know that? Hang on. Let's go off track for a few minutes. Have you ever heard of the Bondurant Autocross events in Forza Motorsport 6? Those, if you turn down the difficulty, it will give you more time to complete the thing. And Real Racing 3 doesn't do that because Real Racing 3 isn't nice enough to let us set the difficulty. Like, what kind of a game doesn't let you set the difficulty? And that one just so happens to be the best game on the App Store, and it just so happens to be a freemium game that's been ripping people off for the past year and a half. Basically, going into the year of 2015, Real Racing 3 just began to rip everybody off. Especially going into, possibly the first update that really began to rip people off was the 2015 Le Mans Pursuit of Victory. That's what it was. That was the first event in Real Racing 3 that really began to rip people off. I mean, Speed Rush TV was bad enough, and I'm talking about Speed Rush TV number 1. Speed Rush TV number 1 was bad enough, but then almost 1 year later comes Le Mans Pursuit of Victory. That was the first event that ripped people off. I know a friend of mine, James Bird, who is a subscriber of YouTube, he was going for the win on what could have been his brand new Nissan GTR El Nismo, and he failed at that because the game just wanted to rip him off. And actually, no, wait a second. I'm making a huge mistake here. Actually, it wasn't. I mean, Le Mans Pursuit of Victory is when it really ripped people off, and then it was. But actually, the big start of it all was Endurance Gauntlet, one of the worst special events in Real Racing 3, possibly the worst if you count it. Yeah, what a trashy event that was. I mean, come on. I mean, Endurance Gauntlet has to be the most expensive event in Real Racing 3, and it only has 5 stages. Well, you could count it as like 7 stages that you have to do in 5 days because there are so many goals in each stage. It's just completely unnecessary. Completely stupid, completely unnecessary. Why does this need to happen? Like, come on, EA and Fire Monkeys. What are you doing to Real Racing 3? You were such a good game in your first 2 years of service, back when you released in 2013. That's when Real Racing 3 was a good game. And still, going into the end of 2014, Real Racing 3 was still a good game, even though people hated the new update that they introduced in mid-2013, which had PR ratings, cars had to be locked, but it didn't rip you off. So it was still technically a good game, because even though it had some stupid things, it didn't completely rip you off. That all changed in the Austin Martin update that came in early 2015. It was that was when the 500 event came, and the 500 event was super easy. I literally only had to skip 2 goals, and those 2 goals were 2 speed measuring events thing. One of them was a speed record, and the other was a speed snap. Those were literally the only 2 events I had to skip out of the whole thing. And every other goal, I was able to pass it with flying colors. In fact, some people said that you could pass the event without any upgrades on the car at all. Even though I bought about 12 upgrades, I won the car easily. Like, the 500 has to be one of the easiest events in the game, and just before that was one of the hardest event in the game. It was Endurance Gauntlet. Yes. Alright, now back to Le Mans Pursuit of Victory. So that was when it began to really rip you off, because when the first time I was completing Le Mans Pursuit of Victory, going for the win on the Porsche 919 Hybrid, I made a fatal error. You see, going into the final 2 stages of Le Mans Pursuit of Victory, I had 150 gold, and guess what? I bought a Ferrari F50. And I thought that I would need 150 gold to complete the event. And I so tragically did, and that cost me the Porsche 919 Hybrid 2015. Why? Oh man, I just ashamed the Germans, didn't I? Oh man, I felt so bad for bank coaches and all the other Germans who were going after Porsche, and all the people who were going for Porsche, including me. I was so let down, even by my own. Yeah, I was let down by my own failure. What a joke! Like, what in the world? Thankfully, I didn't make the same fatal error when going for the Audi and then the Nissan. I made 150 gold going into the final 2 stages of those, and guess what? I spent the 150 gold wisely, and I skipped all the goals, which gave me the win on the Audi R18 e-tron Quattro 2015 and the Nissan GTR LM Nismo 2015. And that was only the beginning of the event. That was special event that was gonna rip me off. Then going into the Federated Autosports 400, which I was really excited for, because you know I have a big passion for NASCAR. And guess what? The Federated Autosports event was another terrible event in Real Racing 3. Honestly, it wasn't that bad when I was going for Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chevrolet SS, and Hendrick Motorsports, but going for Brad Keselowski's was just a complete nightmare. That was a nightmare. I almost died during that. And the end of my triumph was when I was going for Kyle Busch's number 18 M&M's Toyota Camry, and I was really going for that one, because if you didn't know, Kyle Busch is one of my favorite drivers in NASCAR, ignoring the fact that he's always dominating in the Xfinity Series, but that's a topic for another video. I failed that. Why? You destroyed my love for NASCAR and Kyle Busch. Honestly, after that, I just couldn't get over how much I hated Real Racing 3 for that. You destroyed me! I hate you, you stupid game! Okay, I'm getting a little bit over myself. And that wasn't the end of the fail. And actually, I can't think. Then I was doing good all the way up until the Gauntlet Season 4, but that's not gonna count because that didn't completely rip me off. It was just a stupid ticket problem, but thankfully I didn't drain all of my gold to win a stupid car that's a failure in real life. Because, you know, Richard Petty is no longer in charge of the number 43. Now it's silly Eric Almirola, who never won a NASCAR race in his life except for one time because somebody else won it for him. Why? And then the Hennessy Venom GT event failed me at that car because the Generation M event was a ripper-offerer. Thankfully, I won the car because it would have stunk if I failed it. Not being funny. And now coming into Le Mans Legends. Why do you destroy me? I was gonna win an American car and you destroyed my chances. Why? I hate you. I hate you, game. I honestly don't know why I keep playing Real Racing 3. It's honestly not good for my health. I should just stay playing Forza Motorsport 6, the greatest franchise gaming As I was saying, when the iPad decided to cut out on me, I should just keep playing Forza Motorsport 6 as it's like one of possibly the greatest, I don't know. I'm out of words. Why Real Racing 3? Why you have to rip us all off? You know, I was planning on saving half of the gold that I had to skip the thingy with the Ferrari. But no, Ferrari decided to spend all of my gold that I needed for the 4GT Le Mans. And it cost me the 4GT Le Mans. Why? Again, I honestly don't know why I keep playing Real Racing 3. It's honestly not good for my health. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna delete all of my progress. I mean, I spent 3 years and a half trying to gain what I've gained now with all... It's just... I don't know where Real Racing 3 is gonna go these days. Should I just pretend that special events don't exist and just completely ignore them and just buy the cars all later? Or should I keep getting myself into ripping off and not just worry about spending any real money just in case I fail to get the car because the game wants to completely rip me off? Why? Saved the burp there. Many people probably would have gotten angry at that. Excuse me. Yes. Man, I should just stay playing Forza Motorsport 6, because Forza Motorsport 6 is... I mean, really. Well, this has been a Real Racing 3 rant by Fronty to Bobbin. Will I do another one in the future? Who knows? If the game gets me super furious to a point that I have to do one, because EA and FM don't know how to make a great game. Why? Why?